Hello again and welcome back to Pete's Model Car Customs. I'd like to come back with another update on this, as I've made quite a bit of progress, and while I've been messing around with the nose of the car, I've sort of touched in the interior, so that will show the added details on the door up a bit better, because I know in the last video they were hardly visible because they were all blacked out, so I thought I'd just briefly show that. But what I wanted to show really was this suspension change is rather complex, and I had to sort of mess around quite a lot of things to maintain the wheel alignment and stuff, so I wanted to go there really with both the back and front. But one thing about the kit I was using as the donor, this 94 AMT Ford Mustang, I hadn't really looked at them because I wasn't using the wheels, but these tyres that come with the kit are absolutely fantastic. They really are. They have got every detail, size, direction, every... I don't know whether they'll come in if I bring that up. I probably won't be able to hold it steady enough. I don't know, but absolutely every... down by my fingernail, there's 17 direction up the top of what side it's meant to be on, what side it's going. On the flip side, it changes direction and sends the tyre the other way. They're absolutely fantastic and a lovely tread. Real bonus. I'll have to find a use for those. I don't really like the wheels. There you go. The interior I've got here, I hope this will, if I can just go into the, they're the parts on the doors painted up, armrest and having the door pull and added detail to the winder and all that. I think that was worth doing because it really was rather basic, and that just tried to pick out the radio and everything there. I haven't really got a clue what that says. It might show up a bit better on this. I thought it was going to say Shelby. I'm sure it does, and I still can't read it. On the armrest, I really couldn't pick out the detail, so I've sanded it off, and I'm going to add another disc to it, which is laying in the back of the car, because I think I've got a Shelby logo, transfer decal on it. I've made some quite good progress with the nose. If I can just lift it off that stand and get in the sort of shape I want to make it a more aggressive. I think it looks much more like the modern Ford Mustangs now, the shape that's gone. That's about as much chrome as that grille's going to get. It's just a highlight of chrome. I'm going to put a mesh screen behind it, quite further back, so there is a sort of gap. But that's quite an extension, and then underneath here I'm building up a lip around and up to where the quarter bumpers will go on. What else? I'm using the inner radiator part just to brace everything up, and I want to use this to make sure on the wheel alignments, though the main thing for that really is the wheel arches themselves, centering the wheels in the wheel arches, but I'll have to check that everything's still centered. And I added a bit of detail to the inside of the hood, and I've cleaned out the louvers that were on the top. Put them over there. What else was there? Yeah, so I'll also use the kit firewall when I'm checking the suspension change. This back unit of it is really quite a complex bit of doodad, with 4 shock absorbers, and then the fact that they're horizontal as well. I must mind that prop. I've cut down either side of the UJ so as that prop is flexible. And it's flexible to near breaking out point. But the way I've cut it, it should just break out and look like a normal UJ. That's not gonna... Come on, you bugger, focus on me. But I've had to make up new mountings and that for it. Oh, good, they're coming up. With sort of like pin detail one side with a nut head that side. Same with up here, pivot pins on the brackets. But I had quite a while jigging it up, so I did, start with using the kit chassis to get the basic alignment, and then adjusted it and my chassis to accept it, which was grinding out quite a lot here, then putting in these pillow pads for the springs and these anchor points for the rear horizontal shock absorbers. I've fitted my discs and brakes on, and that'll be the amount left I've got for the pins at the moment. I'm nearly breaking this bloody... so there's not a lot of pin there, which is why they're not gonna... Well, not that so I'll have to make sure I can get that securely supported. If I just rearrange myself, I can just pop that into there. Got a pair of tweezers handy. I've got shock mounts there, and get in there, it's a post hole, there you go, and then tag that into place there. Get in your bugger, it'll do it when I glue it, and then settle that in there. So I've got that now all jigged in. And I'll have to sort of tag it in place while I work out the ride height of how far through the wheel arch this actual line actually is. And the same on the front, where it had this incline of the shock absorber and spring. I've had to work that into my design on there. I'll just lift this back off. Yahoo! I better not leave it on there. On these, I noticed the other day in the video that where I've sliding 9 mounting on, lined up to, they'd actually got these 2 mounting posts there and there. So I've cut my bracket off, which has given me a little bit more of stub. I've got a clip holding that in place at the moment. But there again, it's a very small axle stub to take these wide wheels. But, oh, yeah, well, they are quite wide, aren't they, compared to the axle stub? So, so they will be glued in place. But with this, where the shock absorber towers are there, that's the shock mount for this, and it's quite, if you compare it to the chassis I'm working on, which has horizontal sort of rails out from there, this one's got this damn big kick in where the shock tower is, or the spring tower, with the damper running up higher up into the wheel well. So I've had to work that out, and my solution is to cut it all out. Well, not to cut it all out. I've made location points, which, as you can see, I adjusted by a mil backwards, for the locator pins that are in there, and that will lock into there. I'll take that off. Of course it will, Peter. Right. like that at the moment, which puts the top of the spring there. Now yet again with this, I don't know the ride height, so I've got to centralise that. Let's fill out that pinhole. Let's hold that there. I'm going to have to remove a bit more plastic under there to get this centralised. If I can hold that there and get a wheel on, oh, any wheel will do. I'm still quite a bit. No, get that back there and across. I know it was better than that. It's because I'm trying to do it on the bleeding doodad, isn't it? And it's needing to hold 3 things in. Here we go. Can you lend me a hand? Get this wheel on. Still rocking back into that. Right. Get back. So I want that axle to be in the centre of that gap. Right, which it isn't there because it's fallen out again. I've got a little bit of trimming to do. Where was, I saw that. Thank you. Right. That's the shock absorber was in the way. I knew there was a better fit than that. Right, back onto there. Right, now I'm near a centre. Right, the idea of the game is to get that wheel so as the distance between the front of the arch and the back of the arch is the same. And that will put my wheelbase correct in the body, I hope, if these wheel arches align. Then I've got to work out the ride height where I was showing that tower mount a minute ago on the inside, where that shock. Come on, stay still for a couple of seconds, will you? Yeah, bloody hell. Where that shock goes, you can see I'm on the squidge there. So I'll have to work out where that is and then build that back. That's right, get that back up into there. Work out that height and angle. Come on. I hate this bit. It'd be better when it's glued in, but you won't be able to see it as well. No, it's over a bit. Oh, I give up. And then adjust the shock absorber down to whatever height gets in the way or not. And I've just broke the caliper off. Oh well, that'll do. Best wishes from jolly old England. Bye.